Yo, these guys really know what they're talking about. Pour up that glass for me real quick. Okay, now I'm ready for Class After Dark. The class where you have no idea what will be said. It could be how to get that next promotion, side hustles, or even a debate between Flamin' Hot Cheetos and Cool Ranch Doritos. So pour up that drink and relax. It's that time of the week again.
We're back, Bailey. Yo, so I'll tell you guys this. I didn't update my phone yesterday, and I had to update. What's up, Max?
What up, boy?
Man, I'm telling everybody, I was flustered yesterday, like legitimately flustered, because I had to update my phone, and the app wasn't updating, and I kept trying to get into this bad boy, but man, I was a mess trying to get into this. Chris, what's happening?
None, man. I'm still mad that you walked my dog in the harness backwards, man. Watching my dog and don't even know how to walk him.
I was running around for 30 minutes this morning trying to catch your damn dog, and then he didn't even want to walk. And I was like, you know what? I'm just happy that I was able to even get him in the harness.
That's because you got the harness on the wrong way.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Oh, Bailey, dropping my thoughts. Golden Girls and Living Single, greatest shows ever. All right. If anyone says New Girl or Big Bang, I'm going to lose my shit, Andrew. Let's give some people like a couple more minutes to get in here, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. I'm only going to run for about 45 minutes tonight, but I'm excited to have this conversation because I want to bring you guys up. Rod, Keaton, Saul, Bailey, Andrew, thank you for joining us. We'll bring you guys up, have a good time. And I know Max has a list of his top sitcoms, so I'm excited to hear those too.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to drop the list. I'm excited to have this conversation. I think it's fun. I think people were like super excited for it, especially after the debate yesterday. But we gave y'all we gave it a little bit more time, and it built the anticipation. So,
no doubt,
for sure.
Hey, Max, give me a little sprinkle, a little flavor of what's in your list.
Oh gosh, everybody wants a hint. So yeah, I mean,
nope. Don't give.
I will say, I won't give I won't give anything away. I'll just say like my list was like specifically black sitcoms. And
okay, can I ask a question though?
Yeah,
it's a controversial one, but man, I grew up on it. It's the Cosbys in your list.
Oh,
that's a tough one, man. That is so hard.
You'll have to find it out. Okay. I'm gonna defer to Chase on when we're gonna get going, but that's an interesting point, Chris.
Let's let's just get it popping now.
Okay.
We could actually start off with the Cosby Show because I created a list, Max, of my top 10. And as I was going through it, like I was looking up old shows that I used to watch and things of that sort, Cosby Show came up, and I remember like watching it on Nick at Night and being like, damn, I loved that show. I really did, right? Like, and I think a lot of us did. And then over the past, 5, 6, 7 years when all that stuff came out about Bill Cosby, I was like, I got to take it off all of my lists. Like from a moral standpoint, like, I come in here and I talk shit about Tory Lanez on COVID Chronicles. I come in here and I talk shit about Chris Brown because of what they do. And because of that, by principle, I cannot have the Cosby Show in my top list.
Mm. Here's what hurts me about it. What hurts me about the situation is that, so I base my list more off of like things that I actually like, shows that I actually enjoy. Like it is a very like, subjective to just my feelings about these shows. I didn't try to do like what do I think everyone thinks are the top one. I really made it personal. But for me, I also had to factor in just like, what it did, culturally and sort of the significance of it when we talk about TV. But what hurts about the Cosby Show is that because a lot of the accusations and things that, went down were while the show was being filmed. So it wasn't like stuff that happened like early in his career, like after the Cosby Show. Like I watched some of the documentaries and some of the interviews and stuff with some of the victims. And it's just like, dang, like, in some cases he, offered them roles like extras or like, roles on the show and then, took advantage of that. So it really hurt me as a person that actually did watch and enjoy the Cosby Show. I watched a lot of the reruns and stuff, but I mean, I'll go ahead and give away. I didn't keep the show off my list because I couldn't punish every other, actor and person on that show, and I couldn't punish the significance of it. But it is a lot further down than I think it would be if that stuff never, went down. So just being straight up.
I feel that. Chris, how you feel about that?
I know. I feel fair about that. I mean, I feel like, again, there was a whole bunch of great characters on that show. So unfortunately there was, Cosby, who, really brought that show down from, again, to everything that Max was saying about like how that show was actually a little bit of a catalyst for, all those harassment claims, and cases that he, that actually got brought to light. So, I mean, that just puts a really dark shine on the show, for me too.
Yeah.
But again, the hardest thing for me is it's something I grew up on. It's something that was like, one of those shows that, besides Sanford and Sons or anything like that, but was a show that showed the positive, of the African American family. So that's what puts a real, big tint and a big, blemish on it.
Yeah, I agree. But let's obviously Bailey, what's going on?
Yo, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good. How you doing today?
I'm making do. I just wanted to hop in. I don't really watch a lot of TV, but we asked this yesterday, and I want to ask it before y'all get too far into the discussion. What classifies as a sitcom for you, Chase?
For me, what classifies as a sitcom is like only having 2 to 3 set changes throughout the entire show. Like when I think about, and I'm actually going to drop my number one sitcom right now, which is Will Smith's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And when I think about it, it's like they only really had 3 different sets, which was, inside the house. They had when they went to college on a different season. And then maybe when they were outside doing 1 to 2 different things. And then also like the school. So I would say majority of it is not like monologues, right? Like they do have a good amount of monologues, but, I guess the sitcom for me is more like only having a few set changes, and the plot is all around like the relationships between the people in the sitcom or in the show. That's a really good question.
I like
Chris,
that.
Max, what do y'all think?
I think it's evolved though, right? Like I think a sitcom was a specific point in time. Like I think you still have sitcoms, but I think now that you can say they evolved a little bit, right? So I think you got to think about it. I think you think 100%. About it in a different light.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously it can revolve around like a certain set of characters. It can be funny. And I went sort of like, I went multi-dimensional with this list, so I try to stick to like mostly traditional sitcoms. But Chris, absolutely right. It definitely.
Well, you think about like Modern Family, right? Like that's technically a sitcom, and I guess you guys are absolutely right in the fact that it's like it's all about kind of like the character development. But anyways, let's get into our top list. Bailey, first off, thank you for coming. Andrew, Eli, I can't agree with you guys more that Fresh Prince is the OG. But Max, man, if you want to start off, I actually think that we should start with like your top 5 and then kind of work down the list. How are you feeling about that?
Oh, you want to start I was going to do it from bottom up. You want to do from top to bottom?
Shoot. I mean, I think if we start from the top, that'll get some people at least coming to join us and come have that conversation about what they think their top is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I like that format.
Kelly says bottom up. What if we start at like number 10?
Yeah, because I was gonna say let's let people, because I have 20, so I'm like I don't have to explain every single one, but I was like if I go from the bottom up, it'll give them one more chance for like anticipation and people to like kind of like if people are coming in late, they won't like miss the conversation about the top one. So I want to build up if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that works.
All right, so I'm gonna go through this. So like I said, I got 20. I'm gonna go through the 20 through 10 quickly, and then when we go through 10 to 1, we can kind of talk a little bit more. Thanks for the suggestion, Kelly. But all right, so number 20 on my list, again, these are I chose specifically black sitcoms, but obviously I got to shout out my mainstream or white sitcoms or whatever you want to call it. Honorable mentions for me are King of Queens. I love that show. We talked about it on Twitter today. Chase, Saved by the Bell, Classic, and Modern Family are my just like overall sitcom favorites. But top 20 black sitcoms list, number 20, I got House of Pain. Tyler Perry, shout out Tyler Perry. I think that's super underrated. I think people just knock that a little bit because it's Tyler Perry, but it's a really good sitcom. The Hughleys, another good one at 19. Number 18, I Have a Different World. A lot of people would.
I'm already pissed. I
was about to say a lot of people would rank it higher. Me personally, Chris, I didn't watch it enough. And also it changed a lot from like the original, with when it was just Denise, and then it evolved to like so many different storylines. So I might go back and try to like watch it all the way through, but I just couldn't keep up with it. 17, another one people probably have a little bit higher is Girlfriends. For me, I'm watching it actually now as an adult, but just as a younger person, I didn't really like relate and didn't really get any of the jokes, but I'm trying to like go back to it just to see if I like it a little bit better. Number 16.
So that has potential to move up based on your new perspective as seeing it as a little bit older person.
Girlfriends. Absolutely.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Yeah. 16, Moesha. And just watch Moesha from start to finish. I hate that it didn't get a completion, but the high school Moesha, like if you take away like when she went to college and stuff, pretty good.
Max, I'm already sick with it right now. You have Moesha hired a different world. All right, this in my mind. I'm keeping this in the back of my mind right now.
All right, here we go. Number 15, gotta shout out to the Jeffersons. The Jeffersons, great show. Probably should be higher just because of the time period. I just like it's great, still classic, still relatable and everything, but just a little bit too old school for me. 14. So this is one that's not, traditional sitcom. Proud Family. Obviously animated, but still in the sitcom genre for me. So gotta show love to Proud Family. 13. That's So Raven. Great.
Yes. I am dying right now.
I like That's So Raven.
If I could throw my phone against the wall right now, I'm gonna keep going though, because there's a couple of them I haven't heard you say yet. So I'm hoping that.
Yes, sir. All right, so That's So Raven at number 13. Super original, hella dope show for growing up. 12. The Parkers. Loved it when I was younger. Watching it again now. A really good like spinoffs sometimes are kind of iffy. Like The Parkers is probably one of the best spinoffs like ever made, not even just black, just in general, like really, really good show. 11 was The Cosby Show. So I couldn't put it in my top 10. We already talked about it, but I could not ignore like what The Cosby Show did for, the culture and for TV. I couldn't knock like, again, all the other great actors that were on that show and all the great performances, besides Bill Cosby, but you got to knock him because it's just not the same anymore.
And because his name's on the show too, right?
Right. Exactly. So
can I play something for the people real quickly, Max? Because
go ahead, man.
I got my computer in front of me and I'm hoping y'all can hear this, but can y'all hear that?
Yeah.
All I gotta say is one of the best theme songs I've. But you can keep going. I had to play that for everybody.
No, you're good. So did you want me to stop there? That's my 20 through 11. So I'm not in top 10 yet.
Okay. I know Bailey had some things to say because he was talking about, first off, the fact that someone mentioned Moesha last night, and then he mentioned how he had a crush on Brandy, which I actually think we should end the night talking about our favorite crushes. But Bailey, how are you feeling about Max's picks?
It's pretty interesting. I would not have thought to include That's So Raven. I wouldn't have thought to include that, not because it doesn't necessarily fit, but it's not kind of a traditional sitcom, I guess, because I see it as a younger people thing. So that was one interesting takeaway. But it's very thoughtful. Put a lot of thought into that. I don't even know if I could have named 20 sitcoms before, sitting down and thinking about it like that. So
I couldn't. That's why I only went up to 10 because I couldn't name 20 sitcoms. To be honest with you, Chris, could you name 20 sitcoms?
I have to sit down and write it on paper, but I think I'm pretty close.
I do agree with Chris's reaction to Different World being so low, though. That was
I definitely got to give it like another shot. But I just think like I said, I watched some of the early, like some of the first, when it first came on, not when it first came on, cause I'm not that old, but like when, like I watched the reruns of some of the first episodes, like again with like when it started with being centered around Denise's character and all that stuff. And then, you know, just sort of seeing how it evolved, like, you know, it was great. Like it's definitely like definitely got a lot of great storylines, a lot of, you know, cool like cameos and themes and stuff like that. But it was just, I haven't given it a fair like shot to watch like all the way through, and the like different storylines for me was just as a casual viewer was just confusing. So
I feel that. I think, Max, I'm going to give you a quick shout out because, you know, I think we're around the same age, and I actually never thought of like That's So Raven or The Proud Family to be like a traditional sitcom. But as I'm sitting here thinking about it like in real time, I actually think they are sitcoms when you think about kind of the definition of what a sitcom would be. And shit, like a lot of Disney Channel shows, even though it's made technically for the younger generation, like I love those shows. Like I love That's So Raven. I love The Proud Family. Shit, I even watched like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody while I was growing up, like shit like that. And that they're not in my, like, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is definitely not in my top sitcoms, but it's a sitcom. And the fact that you still talked about, I mean, we talked about The Cosby Show earlier, the fact that it's still in the top 20, like it is like a great show at the end of the day. Now, if you take away everything that's happened recently, with Bill Cosby, like I think we would even be talking about that's one of the top sitcoms of, I don't know, all time, but like it would definitely be in the top 10, you think?
Yeah, it'd be way higher. It has to be. Yeah, I can't even like really watch it anymore. It's just not the same.
It really does change that. What were you about to say, Chris?
I said that's 100%. Yeah, it's unfortunate how that just tarnished the whole show.
It does. I mean, it brings me back to my whole thing about Tory Lanez and Chris Brown. I hate both of them because of what they've done outside of their careers, but like I used to like both of their music a whole lot, and I wish I could respect them more than they are. But anyways.
Hey, before, you know, Max, I'm going to throw 3 numbers out here for you. And I know you already gave us your top, you know, your bottom 10 of your top 20, but I'm going to say these 3 numbers. And if you do not have this in your top 10, I'm going to lose my shit. So I'm just going to say 227. If that is not in this list, we're going to have conversations.
All right, that sounds good, Chris. I just want to address, and you got a good point on 227. I want to address Kelly's question, though. She said, are these your personal top favorite lists, or will you guys argue for ones you don't personally like but have to go to the board because of popularity culture sake? Kelly, I took it as so culture and like popularity played a factor, but I had to be fair and rank these as my personal favorites, because for me to fairly rank, they had to be shows that I actually watched. Like, for example, like if we talk about overall, like I wouldn't be able to make an argument for Friends because I personally like have never like sat down and watched it. So I really had to do it personal. I don't know how Chase and Chris, I don't know how you guys would rank, but it just, for me, these were all shows that I personally like had invested time in.
No, I think that's the right way to look at it, Max. Like, if you couldn't just say, hey, what was popular, but I think you have to actually watch these shows and you have to have some type of interest in these shows. So I think the way you did it is the correct way. And that leads up for a lot of debate.
And the top 10 is where we're going to start debating, right? I mean, I think if I'm thinking about it, like I'm assuming that a lot of us have similar taste in shows when it comes to the top 10. So Max, if you want to start diving into your top 10 right now from, let's go 10 to 5. Let's start talking about these bad boys because I am ready.
Can I just say one thing, Max?
Go ahead, Chris.
Let me down here. Don't tell me that this did not even make your top 20 right now.
Chris, I'm so sorry, man. So on the point that we just made, like I have only watched like 1 or 2 episodes of 227. So I'm only 26. So before my time, my mom loved 227. She'd probably have in her top 10, but I have not like sat down and watched enough episodes. But from the episodes I've seen a couple, and it seems like a definitely a dope show. But I couldn't justify putting it in my top 20 because I just haven't watched enough. So I'm sorry about that, Chris.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I will go with that.
All right, top 10. Number 10, another show that probably people would have higher just based on like comedy, is Bernie Mac's show. Bernie Mac's R.I.P. Bernie Mac. That I loved that show, and it was so hard for me to put it at number 10, but the shows above it I just think were better. But the Bernie Mac show, Bernie Mac show was it was just ahead of its time in so many different ways. Like, just from the first person, like, the documentary style, like everything was just, that show was just great. It never really lost. I could still watch it and still laugh. So Bernie Mac gets in my top 10. But
hold up, Max. I got Bernie Mac in my top 5 because I don't disagree with that. Man, when I think about the Bernie Mac show, first off, RIP to one of the best comedians growing up, one of my favorites of all time. However, his show, like you said, it was so far ahead of its time. And like, they used to hit on cultural norms that, like, me watching it when I was probably like 8, 9, 10 years old to all the way to now. I'm like, damn, like they really hit on a lot of things that are still true to this day in 2020. You know what I mean? And actually are coming to fruition, a lot of things nowadays. And when I think about like how funny that show was too, like the characters in there, like Jordan, my parents used to call me Jordan because they used to make fun of me like a motherfucker all the damn time. And like, they'd be like, man, you pulling a Jordan, man, you pulling a Jordan. Like, it was so ingrained in our family that for me, it was like one of those things. I got it at number 2 right behind Fresh Prince. So anyways, I'm gonna let you keep going, but the Bernie Mac show for me, like when he passed, I actually cried. Like, and I don't usually, if you talk to Chris, he'd say I'm an emotional person. So just don't listen to what he says. Whatever. I was emotional when Bernie Mac passed, and that was tough. But anyways, I'm gonna let you keep going.
Yeah, no, Bernie Mac was great. I don't have a problem with anybody putting it higher or whatever. Like, it was hard to put it at top 10. This one, probably people will have a big problem with, but at number 9, I had to put Blackish in here, man. Like, Blackish, here's why. When it comes to like funniness, Blackish is a lot lower. Like, Blackish hasn't been funny in like 4 years, but I had to give Blackish credit for being a cultural reset. Like, when Blackish came on TV, there was like really not that much like good representation of Black on TV. We had like a lot of the reality shows going on, like all the Real Housewives and all the Love and Hip Hops and all that stuff that were like dominating TV. And we had kind of like went past the UPN, CW era, like all those shows had gone off there. And Blackish like really set the reset button on Tracy Ellis Ross's career, but also, Black, imagery on TV as a whole. So I have to give Blackish a lot of credit. The spinoffs are trash, but, Blackish, I gotta put it in my top 9 just for like, cause I've watched it all the way through. For the culture, you cannot deny like the impact Blackish has had.
Chris, how you feeling about that one?
Oh man, again, 2278 out here. You don't have my man 227. I'm hurt already. And so Ravens up there, different worlds down. I'm in my feelings again. I feel like I'm watching your candy battles there, Chase. But no, Blackish for the culture and what it did, I agree. But I'll just put it out there. I would put Black as Fuck higher than Blackish. That was probably one of my favorite shows I've seen in a very long time.
But that's because you laughed at it, right? Like that. I mean, Chris, we used to go out to, your place out in Eastern Washington and sit there and literally just watch it for like hours on end because that shit is just so funny.
Yeah. Because that's what you say. I act like they do, which I don't believe is true.
You do. You are if you guys have seen Black AF or Black as Fuck, Chris acts like the dad in that damn show. And like Chris always says that, Chris always thought that that's how I grew up. Like my parents weren't that rich growing up. I was like, damn, we weren't buying like Gucci or like making fun of people for wearing like Saucony or something like that. But that show, I don't know. I like Blackish better because I agree with Max. Like I think from a cultural standpoint, it's spot on. But I also think it's pretty damn funny. Like I haven't watched it in a couple of years. Once the daughter went to college, they kind of lost me. But before that, I used to almost binge watch Blackish because I was like, this is hilarious. And then the spinoffs, I do think Black AF is pretty damn funny. I just think it's like rich Black people just making fun of each other. But I see the other spinoffs like Mixed-ish and all that shit. And I'm just like, you're doing too much. It's almost like they try to become Tyler Perry, or I don't know if it's a Tyler Perry show, but he just, when he came out with Medea Medea's family vacation. Medea goes to the kitchen. Medea uses the restroom. It's like, damn, like how many Medeas can you come out with? So I just think it's overkill at some point.
It is, and the guy that plays the dad on Black AF is the guy behind Blackish. So he's the producer and the director and the creator of like all the issues. And I think they're gonna do they're supposed to be doing a spinoff about like the grandparents and about Junior. So I'm like, y'all are doing like too much with it. Grownish was people expected Grownish to be like the new A Different World, and it's not even close to that. It's like, it's not even the same concept. So, but Blackish gotta give it a lot of credit for what it did for the culture. But moving on to, are y'all got any other comments?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. This personally hurt me to put it this low too. This show I really loved, really enjoyed. I kind of felt like it was, great in like the first, not even the first couple seasons. I'll say like the middle of it was like really incredible. The first couple seasons and like the last couple seasons were kind of trash, but Family Matters, man, like Family Matters, I feel like doesn't get enough credit sometimes, but really, really good show. I kind of felt like, rewatched one through all the seasons again, not too long ago. And I still, laughed, still enjoyed it. Love the dynamic, energy and the positive family outlook, really did well when it touched on serious issues. Kind of cheesy now. Steve Urkel and all that stuff is kind of different to watch, but, still good, still pretty timeless, I think. But, could be a little bit, I would put it higher only if it was more concise and the character, like, stuff was kind of weird. Like, they had like one of the daughters on the family, like, just stopped being in the show like randomly, and they had a lot of just like weird character drop offs that they never really explained. So I feel like some of that kind of puts it a little bit lower, but I absolutely love Family Matters.
That is a timeless show. And people still make fun of Steve Urkel, right? Like, you don't ever want to be, I could imagine like kids going to school now and still calling each other like, damn, you dress like Steve Urkel or you look like Urkel. Yeah. I wore glasses when I was younger and people used to call me Urkel. That shit used to get to me, man. It used to get to me. Chris, I know your ass watched Family Matters.
Man, why do I have to watch Family Matters, man? What the fuck with me, man? See, this is like bullshit I have to deal with. Chase, this is not. I did watch Family Matters. I'm okay with it. I just got to see your other. There's one show. If you do not have this other show on, I'm just waiting.
Right. There's one show I'm waiting. What number are we at, Max?
We're going into number 7. So number 7. So 8 was Family Matters. Number 7. Here we go. One-on-one. I'm not going to go too much into that. I love One-on-One. Great show. Check it out if you haven't watched it. Really good, Black father representation. Really, really cool stuff. Number 6. So this is another one kind of like off the beaten path. Boondocks. I had Boondocks as a sitcom for me. Funny as hell. Probably top 2 funniest on my list, but just, cause it's kind of like non-traditional. I had to put it a little bit lower and it kind of fell off a little bit in the last season. But Boondocks always a classic. And then number 5, to round out my 10 through 5 is Fresh Prince. So Fresh Prince, really, really good. I know a lot of people probably disagree with me, but I had to put Fresh Prince at 5. And I think mostly just because of all the shows that ahead of it are funnier. And so like everything, like, you have to look holistically. We're talking about sitcoms in a very holistic way. And I understand that. I took that into consideration, but everything above Fresh Prince, I felt like had what Fresh Prince has, but was funnier. So,
okay. Yeah. Okay. I can't be mad at you because it is number 5, which means that there's only 4 more that are better than it. Because it is my number 1, but Will Smith did so many things for me as a child in terms of like watching that show. He got me interested in wearing Jordans. He got me interested in fashion. He taught me what it was like to talk to a girl. He taught me so many different things. So I just can't put anything above that because I think from a cultural standpoint and from a comedy standpoint, like, even to this day, like I got a handshake with some buddies where, it's just like him and Jazz used to do. So that will always stick with me, but I can't be mad at you for having him at number 5 because at least it's in the top 5.
Yeah, with that.
Man, I just want you to know, Max, you're playing with a very thin list right now, and there's a couple of them that you have not said, and I'm nervous right now. I'm just going to let you know I'm nervous right now.
All right, Chris, well, let's do it. Why wait any longer? We've been waiting all this time. Top 5. All right, so we said Fresh Prince already. Number 4, this is the one that Twitter always argues about every 3 months, and I hate it. But number 4, Martin. Martin was, again, Fresh Prince was more the family dynamic. Martin was a different dynamic, but Martin was a hell of a lot funnier. And another thing, I didn't say this in the beginning, but I'm talking about a lot of complicated different things here with the sitcoms, but I also rank these based on if these were all on TV right now, like which ones would I watch like in order. So if I had to choose like, all these are on at the same time, which ones do I watch? I picked like which ones would I choose? And I would definitely choose to watch Martin over Fresh Prince if they were both on TV. So, don't need to explain. Everyone knows Martin.
Yeah, you know what, man? I
Better
actually
than Fresh Prince.
when you say it in those terms and you think about it, like I would probably watch Martin over Fresh Prince too because man, that show was just hilarious.
Yeah.
Y'all just hating on the light skins, man. Just because we got a light skinned dude who's the lead and Will Smith, and then you look
Chase,
at Martin.
You're not light skinned, you're off white.
You got me messed up, Chris.
I got a show
down there.
Hey, Chase, man, my number two was mostly light skinned people, so don't sleep on. I didn't sleep on light skins yet. All right, so number 3, we're into the top 3 now. This is gonna get a lot of heat. People are gonna argue with this one the most, I think, out of my whole list. But the Jamie Foxx show was funnier than Martin, funnier than all the other ones down. Like, I think again, you had a very unique imagine just if somebody said, okay, I'm going to do a sitcom about working at a hotel. Like that, what they did with that concept and the way they like stretched it and the way they it was just so funny, so creative. Like Jamie Foxx obviously is like multi-talented. Like that show, gets kind of swept underneath the rug because of Martin and Fresh Prince and all these other shows. But Jamie Foxx show for me was it.
I see what you're saying there, man. It was funny, but damn, like that would have been in the top 20 to 15. I would have put the Jamie Foxx show definitely ahead of the It's So Raven, but I'm just saying, dang, you put it that high? Okay. I can't hear 1 and 2 right now.
Hold up. Because I like the Jamie Foxx show. I actually thought it was funnier than Martin.
Yes.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is just so ingrained in me. Like, it was the thing that I used to watch before I go to bed on Nick at Night. So I can't get away from that, but damn, that show was hilarious. I remember getting home from school and asking my mom if I could turn on the Jamie Foxx show because it was so damn funny. And I hear you from the perspective of the fact that they actually took a hotel set and then just made it into a show. And they were like, wow, we could actually do something with this. And if anyone was going to do it, it was Jamie Foxx. That dude is so damn talented. Not only can he act, not only can he sing, but dude is fucking hilarious too. So I ain't even mad at you for that one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna say he put all those abilities, he put it all into his shows and he showcased it really well, and a lot of great also guest appearance cameos and stuff too. And so Jamie Foxx is definitely up there for me. But go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say, I know a show that you didn't put on there and it hurt my soul, and it was a show that I know you don't have Sanford and Sons on this list at all. That hurts my soul right now. I just want you to know that because I know that's not in your top 2.
Chris, your volume, I don't know if it's just me, your volume's going down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're back.
Speaker. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a show that I know you did not put on here, which would be Sanford and Sons, which it hurts my soul too.
I loved Sanford and Sons and I watched Sanford and Sons. It was hard for me to keep it off the list. I just enjoyed all these shows a little bit better again. Most of it's because of just age and but I love Sanford and Sons. Sanford and Sons was great. I'm not mad at if anyone has it in their top 20, but I just don't. All right, here we go. My bad. Top 2. Here we go. All right. Number 2. A lot of people are probably going to hate this, but My Wife and Kids. Underrated.
Ooh.
Never was stale. Still funny to this day. Just doesn't, for some reason, get a lot of love. on Twitter. But I mean, it really, to me, like, if you were looking for a replacement for the Cosbys, like, my wife and kids is very similar. Like, they didn't really focus on like black topics. They just focused on, you know, regular family problems. Was really funny. They, you know, traced light-skinned family. And, you know, the dad, Damon Wayans, owned his own business. You know, good characters, you know, solid stuff. Still, like I said, to me, still funny. But probably way higher than like anybody would ever put my wife and kids. But for me personally, man,
it wouldn't have made my top 30.
Yo, my wife and kids was good, man. People sleep on my wife and kids. It was good. But yeah, so all right, number one, here we go.
It was good, but I don't know if it's top 2 material. But you know, hey, I'll let you ride with it, Max.
The one thing I will say, if you went and if you tried to look online right now, you'd be hard pressed to find that show on a list. Just gonna throw that out there. But this is what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, he did say the Wayans brothers too, so I'm kind of now I got the damn theme song playing in my head where it's like, we're brothers, we're happy, and we're single, and we're colored. But keep going, Max. Keep going. Sorry.
All right, here we go. This is the number one sitcom. I'm going to actually, hopefully y'all can hear this. I'm going to play the theme song of my number one, and I won't take any disagreements on this because it's the best sitcom ever made. Here we go. Can y'all still hear me?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Misunderstood. Everybody thinks he's up to no good. But he's around, things go wrong. The kid sticks out like a sore thumb. He thinks he's funny, but he sends people running. When his family knows that he won't grow, the little child growing up Brooklyn skies get complicated. No wonder he's so hated. Everybody hates Chris.
Yo, my white friends used to get super excited for Everybody Hates Chris. And I'm saying that in a good way because, like, I ain't even mad at you.
I mean, it was a good show, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? That would have been in my top 10. But, man, there were so many misses and everything. But it was up there, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a show after my own name, so I can't, hate on it.
It's true, though. Everybody does hate you. They weren't talking about Chris Rock at that time.
Oh, damn.
The only flaw with Everybody Hates Chris was that it wasn't on longer. Like, it could have used a couple more seasons, but, I mean, it was so good. Short and sweet, authentic, great character development, funniest out of everything else on my list. Like, I loved it.
I love that show. And for the culture aspect of it too, right? Like I actually thought it hit on a lot of good things from like a cultural appropriation standpoint. And shit, Chris Rock is hilarious. Like the way that he wrote that show, the way that show ended up coming to life. Like I didn't know what life was like growing up in New York. I actually never would know what life was like growing up in New York. So to see it from that lens, like that shit I love that show. I don't know about number one.
Yeah, definitely don't. Yeah, that's a tough one for me to put at number one. And I mean, like, there's even. I'm just thinking like the Wayans brothers didn't make it. The Jeffersons. I'm hurting, man. There's just a lot of pain that I have. But I had
the Wayans brothers.
I had the Jeffersons at 15 on my list.
Oh, okay. The Jeffersons were okay. I think I'm still just upset about 227.
Let me ask you all this because I had these in my list and I just don't know if they are sitcoms or not. But I had Kenan and Kel in there.
Nope, that would have been one.
Okay. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? Like you can't. That shit for me is like top 10. Honestly, I had it at number 5. And also, side note, I was down in Hollywood just I think this was last year when I was down there, and they have a Good Burger, or they had a Good Burger set up, and it was actually the same exact like setup as Good Burger. And when you walked up, they would say, "Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?" And like they only had like 3 things on the menu, so it's kind of dope. I wish I could have gone there, but shit, that was dope. And then the other one that I had, and I don't think this is a sitcom, but I'm just gonna throw it out there, was All That.
Yeah, All That was like sketch comedy. It was hard for me.
So take it off.
Yeah, so like All That, Key and Peele, Obviously, like SNL and Living Color were all sketch comedy, so I couldn't put them in my sitcom.
You couldn't put David Chappelle show. Another show that I was a little hurt that Strokes, man.
Yeah, Different Strokes. Another one where like I actually would like Different Strokes and what's happening are shows that like I've always wanted to be like, yo, I need to go look up these episodes and like watch them, from front to, because like I've always wanted to watch. I've seen a couple reruns of Different Strokes. And that one episode they did about the bicycle man, whatever episode, super creepy. One of the creepiest TV shows I've ever watched. But but no, other than that, loved the concept Different Strokes. I really need to watch more of that. That's why they didn't make my list. And Kenan and Kel was actually my last show on the chopping block. I had to make a cut, and unfortunately, I also did not watch enough of Kenan and Kel to really justify putting it in my top 20.
Yeah, that was my jam.
Yeah. Now you had a few of them, man, and then Webster. Like I could go on and on, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not gonna hate the list. I'm gonna respect the list, understand your point of views on it, Max. The So Raven is the one that got me. In Different World being so far down, but once you told me why it was that way, I really understand.
So I appreciate the list, Max. I mean, you put a lot of work into that, honestly, with the amount of logic that you had and things of that sort. But let's talk about our top crushes from sitcoms, because I mean, shit, I definitely had a couple, and I could start us off if we want to. Hey, I'm actually
Chase. I'm about to just drop off real quick. I want to say thank you to Mac. Enjoyed it. Oh, and I look forward to being back a little bit later and for some more topics to discuss with the people.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
So my top crush from sitcoms actually comes from two non-black sitcoms, believe it or not. And one of them was DJ from Full House, and the other one was goddamn Jennifer Aniston off of Friends. And those were growing up, I could have, if I was able to, I would have dropped dead and married both of them at that time. They were both DJ from Full House. Boy, I used to watch that at 9 o'clock from 9 to 9:30 and getting ready for Fresh Prince. And it was just it was like a young boy's love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree with those. Yeah. Especially 90s Jennifer Aniston. Definitely. I completely understand that. For me, and this is funny because I never really watched Boy Meets World too much, but I did this poll on Instagram one time and everyone clowned me because I was all right, who was better? Who was finer? Kelly Kapowski of Saved by the Bell or Topanga? And everyone's Topanga, and I'm what? Y'all are crushing my dreams right now. Kelly Kapowski was bad, but and even Lisa Turtle, Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell had a pretty good lineup for me. And then I'll say my only other crush is probably Myra from Family Matters. I never understood why Steve Urkel had if anybody watched Family Matters, Myra was in love with Steve. But, even when Steve decided to date Myra, he was still, thirsty for Laura. So, and I thought Myra was way better looking. So I never understood that. But that was probably my first. Yeah.
I agree with you. Andrew, what's up, man?
Yo. So you guys kind of covered the two of my three crushes. I actually got a dip pretty soon, but I just wanted to.
It's all good.
To throw in Kelly Bundy from Married with Children.
Oh boy, now you're talking. Now we're cooking with some gas. Yes. And then Bailey also said in the chat, Sofia Vergara from Modern Family. And when I say that was my dream woman of all time, I don't care how old she is. I don't care. She is just all time fine. And I think she's going to be fine until she's 110 years old.
Yeah, facts. When she was on, when she was in Soul Plane, that was I think it was the first role one of the first roles she was like in, but people forget about that. When she was in Soap, and I was like, dang, like I never knew she would be like who she is now is notable, but definitely Sofia Vergara for sure. I'm on board with that.
Yo, Bailey is over here preaching in the chat. He said Tony from Girlfriends. Yes. Yeah. Ashley Banks. Oh my God, Ashley Banks. She used to like when I talk about a crush, like shit. I guess I had a crush on a girl from every damn show that we used to watch. But like Ashley Banks just hit different. Like she is definitely like beautiful, obviously, but like the character that she played, like she just kind of had that sassiness to her. And I don't know, but when I was younger, man, like she used to hit different, like real different. Over
Hillary?
Hillary, I'm gonna have to say yes, because Hillary was just not too smart in the show, right? Like, and that was not saying that like I needed like all the intelligence in the world, but like when I was just like watching the show and like I would watch her, like she would say some things and I'd be like, damn, I kind of like Ashley more than you because she's just so much smarter.
True. I can't disagree with that. What about, God, I just thought, oh yeah, like Megan Good early on, she was on a sitcom. She was on, I'm losing it with the puppet. What was that called? It was a show on Nick. It was, Megan Good and the dude that played Arnez on One-on-One, and, it was, Cousin Skeeter. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. Megan Good, Cousin Skeeter. Before Megan Good was Megan Good, she was on that, obviously. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Man, yeah, there was a lot. You're absolutely
right. There was a lot. This has been a lot of fun. Does anyone have anything else that they want to say about their either biggest crush that they had from a sitcom, or does anyone agree or disagree with Max's top 10 that they want to come up here? Max, we could wrap here in just a couple minutes.
That's fine. Oh, I also want to say overall, probably one of the ones that would top my list if I was just doing an overall list would also probably be How I Met Your Mother. Like people talk about like, Friends. Like, I think the way people say all the time that like How I Met Your Mother was just like a newer, more modern version of Friends, but like How I Met Your Mother was like the show that actually like hooked me out of the two, out of Friends and How I Met Your Mother. And How I Met Your Mother is a great, great, great show.
It is. And like, a lot of people either love Friends or hate on Friends. And I'm actually the type of person that like, I enjoyed Friends. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think it's a little overhyped in my opinion with how much people can binge watch it, but I also think it takes a specific type of comedy, right? To like truly enjoy that, like see that over and over and over and over again. But to be honest with you, man, like Joey and Ross on that damn show are two of my favorite characters, I think, of all time, because Joey is just an all-time like idiot, but he plays that character so well. And then Ross is just fucking hilarious. Like I can't get over it.
Yeah, it seems like if you're comparing like Joey to like Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother, like Joey just seems like a little bit more like tasteful, I guess, and just funnier as a character. Yeah. Like especially now after like, just kind of having more like knowledge and, after like Me Too and stuff, it's just kind of, I will admit it's hard to watch like that like Barney Stinson character on How I Met Your Mother, because it just if it was redone today, it just like wouldn't be a thing. But
it would not be allowed. Oh hell
yeah. No. But no, yeah, Joey, yeah, I can see that for sure.
I love it. Well, I think we've had a good time. I mean, Max, I appreciate you, man, for pulling together that top 20 list, because one, it was well thought out. It was shit. You had like, who said this earlier? I think Bailey said it earlier, or Andrew, but it was like, you have a reason for your opinion on everyone. And I can't blame you for your top 20, man. Like the way you made it, like it made it hard to debate. I can't even lie.
Yeah, it's just like I kind of, again, like I sort of said, like I just had to. I didn't mean it for it to sound so like well. I mean, it was well thought out. I really tried to like actually give you guys some really fire content. I try to do what I can for the people. But I really, when you simplify it, it's just like, man, I mean, it's TV. So it's like, all right, if you're sitting down and you have all these options, like, what are you going to watch first? Like, what are you going to watch second? So, I mean, I hope you all enjoyed it. And I love to hear about, more sitcoms, and I want to keep the conversation going. So, Chase, man, I thank you so much for having me up here to have this conversation. And I, enjoyed kind of hearing y'all's feedback as well.
Of course, man. This was a lot of fun. And guys, I hope you all had a great time. We typically do these on Thursday nights. So we'll be doing, After Dark on Locker Room Thursday nights around 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That makes it 10 to 11 on Eastern Standard Time. And if you guys would like to, me and Chris also host a podcast and a YouTube channel called Class Aftr Dark. And we'd love for you guys to check it out. So on that note, have a wonderful and a safe Friday night. And I hope you guys have a great weekend as well. On that note, we out.
We out. Peace.